Hi, welcome along to a new episode of the Recurring Revenue Rocks show. My name's Laura Jeffrey. It's great to have you here today. Today's episode, we're going to be talking all about how to build your confidence as a membership founder, as a membership leader, stepping up as someone who is really known for what you specialize in and respected as the leader of the membership that you've created and a leader for your audience as well. So it's quite an important subject that's really close to my heart, actually, because my confidence has grown so much over the years, and I know that because of the history that I've got, my own history that nobody else has got, that's got me to where I am today, and it's exactly the same for you. So I just wanted to dive into that a bit today, and just to make sure that you're keeping yourself boosted up with your confidence, to make sure that you're showing up as best you can and getting the best results for your members and for your audience, bringing them into your membership as well. So this episode is sponsored by Magnetize Your Membership Pro, which I will be talking to you more about at the end of this episode if you want to find out more information on how you can join that. So let's get into it, guys. So the whole subject of confidence, it's something which I find it so amazing that as humans we can grow and get better at things, even when over the years, maybe from childhood, you might have had a belief that maybe you're shy, or maybe because you're an introvert that you're not cut out for this, that you're not going to be good on screen, that you aren't confident enough to do live videos, or you're not confident enough to do live launches or live selling or live webinars or whatever. But actually, as the months and years go by, you can grow into a new version of yourself that not only is good at that stuff, good at live selling, good at broadcasting on live video or whatever, but you can really grow to enjoy it as well. So say for me, I would definitely class myself as an introvert, an extroverted introvert, as in I love people, but I'm very much an introvert at heart. So I like a lot of quiet time. I like time on my own to recharge. I definitely go away from people rather than to people, which apparently is the definition of an introvert. So that's something which, you know, I know about myself and I accept about myself, and I'm cool with it. But growing up, I was very much like, I had this record playing in my mind of, I'm quiet. I don't like to show off in front of people. Like when I was a really small child, I actually really enjoyed showing off in front of people. But as I got into my teenage years and then into my 20s, I had this whole thing like, no way, I wouldn't want to be on a stage, or I wouldn't want to, go on camera live, But actually, as I've started running my own business, that's very much what I've been. I've had to step into that role because it's been required of me in order for me to do a good job. And because I want to do a good job in my own business, it's something which I've kind of naturally grown into. So if you're one of those people that feels less than confident maybe on camera or speaking and that kind of thing, just know that it is possible. If it's possible for me to get better and to actually enjoy this stuff and to get good results from it for my business, then it's very much possible for you too. And I just wanted to share with you today some of the things which have helped me along my way, actually, and have made me feel more confident as the months and years go by. So something which I share quite often is that when I first started my very first business back in 2012 even, when I was 30 years old, I started up a wedding show company. It was like a wedding fair company, where you get vendors, like wedding business vendors, come along with their kind of show kit, whatever, like their pop-up banners and their table full of stuff that they're showing off that they want to sell to brides or grooms to be. I ran the shows where people came along to those shows, right? So I used to sell all the exhibitor stand space. I used to go out and find a venue. I used to run like a bridal clothes fashion show thing. And I was terrified, like literally terrified, feeling sick, feeling dizzy at the thought of standing up in front of people with a mic and kind of comparing the fashion show. Like, it literally made me feel sick. And even though I was running these shows which had hundreds and hundreds of brides and grooms, like couples coming along, who are getting married and they wanted to come along to these shows, I had hundreds of people coming along, and I'd sell stand space to dozens and dozens and dozens of wedding vendors. Even though I had the confidence to do that, the thought of standing up in front of people with a mic at the vendor kind of fashion show literally made me feel dizzy, like I was going to pass out on the floor. But the first time I did it, you know, there was music going on. The DJ was really nice, who was kind of giving me the mic and all that kind of thing to stand up in front of all these people and talk people through, oh, okay, we've got a gorgeous guy coming up here who's wearing, you know, this, you know, wedding suit, and it's from this vendor, and doesn't he look gorgeous? Let's give him a round of applause. And, you know, I really got into it. And at the end of it, I was so proud of myself that I'd done something so far out of my comfort zone. And I knew that because I'd done it once, I could definitely do it again. And the next time I did it, I think I felt equally as sick and terrified and dizzy, but I did it again, and then I did it again, and then I did it again. And gradually, I proved to myself, I proved to my monkey brain up here, who's trying to save me from the terrifying thing where it thinks that I'm gonna get murdered by people if I stand up and talk in front of them, whatever that monkey brain story is from when you're a child or whatever, like monkey brain trying to save you. Gradually monkey brain learned that, you know, I wasn't going to die because I was going to stand up and talk in front of people, and that it was actually okay and it was kind of fun. And then gradually a new belief starts forming in your mind where you're like, actually maybe I do enjoy this, maybe I am actually quite good at it. So I just wanted you to know that, you know, over the months and years, as long as you keep kind of pushing yourself that little bit further than your comfort zone requires you to stay in, as long as you step to the edge of that and go beyond it and actually push yourself a little bit further than that, you'll see what you can expand into. And it is amazing, like what you can then go on to do in your business. So the kind of the business of growing our confidence as membership leaders is so important, because the very nature of running a membership means that people are going to be looking up to you. You are very much stepping into a leadership role when you decide to run a membership, because you are leading people, you are teaching people, you're showing them how to do something that they want to do. You're showing them how to solve their problem, you're showing them how to get an outcome. And because of that, you need to be able to lead from the front. You need to be able to have the confidence that you believe in what you're doing, that you know what you're doing, and that people will, you know, listen to you. They will listen to you. Just as I am, you know, in other people's masterminds, I am coached by other people. I'm a listener, you know, I'm going to listen to them because they're where I want to be. You know, I employed my coach last year because she's a few steps ahead of me. So I'm like, of course I'm going to listen to her. And as the people who come to work with me, they want to get to where I am, so I can teach them about where I am. And it's exactly the same for you in your membership. So I would really encourage you to have a think about what you stand for. Like, what are you like as a person? What are you like as a business owner? What has happened on your journey to get you to where you are today that means that you deserve to be where you are today? And I really want you to get some fire in your belly about this, because I always find that, you know, if I feel a bit more fired up about something, like, no, I deserve this, I'm okay to do this, it's kind of the opposite of imposter syndrome, if you like I operate from a place of, you know, I've earned my stripes. I've been through some stuff in my life, in my work life, that has got me to where I am today, and I have earned my stripes. I am allowed to stand here because of what I've been through. And that has enabled me to talk to you guys with confidence, because I've been through it myself. So therefore, I feel perfectly great about sharing it with you guys. And I want for you to have that too. So if you are running your membership and you are feeling less than confident about any area, be it going live to your members, be it doing some live selling via a webinar, maybe a workshop, a live event challenge, event launch, anything like that, I really want you to think about what you've been through to get you to where you are today. Now, all of us have a story. I'm a firm believer in that all of us have a story. It doesn't matter what your story is, you've been through some stuff to get you to where you are today. And I want you to admit that to yourself, that it's not always been easy. And I know that for a fact. Like, I feel incredibly privileged and lucky to be where I am now. But a lot of that has been because I've taken risks, I've taken a chance on stuff, I've believed in myself, I have made a leap when maybe other people wouldn't have done. And those things aren't easy. Like choosing to spend your savings on Facebook advertising for an event which you believe you will be able to sell enough places in to make a profit on. That's not necessarily an easy decision, but we do these things as business owners, right? Because we believe in us. We believe in us. And it's like all of these things that you go through, they all help you become more confident. So if you're ever having a wobble about where you are, or, you know, taking a leap to stretch yourself to do more sales of your membership or to raise your prices significantly, then I want you to think about, you know, how did you earn your stripes? What got you to where you are today? So something which I often think about is, for me, I worked in the events industry for the whole of my 20s. I worked in the event industry, and I had some really interesting bosses. I had some great bosses who, you know, stretched me intellectually and confidence wise. They got me to do things which were slightly out of my comfort zone, but they built my confidence. And then I had some crap bosses, like really bad bosses who were like, you know, bullies, or, you know, they had insecurities which they projected onto people, all that kind of thing. So I experienced kind of the best of bosses and the worst of bosses. And with the worst of bosses, they can try to knock you down. They can try and make you feel less than. They can try and take credit for things that you've done and take that credit for themselves. Like, they can try and knock you down and keep you small. So I want you to think back, you know, did you ever have a boss like that who tried to make you feel small, who tried to make you feel less than? I know I did, but the good thing is that you learn from that, right? So for me, it's kind of like, yeah, I had a couple of bosses who were a bit daft, you know, and they weren't great bosses, they weren't great leaders. But equally, I had bosses who were wonderful leaders, who were really talented at, you know, pushing me to go a little bit beyond my comfort zone, and to help me build my confidence. And that to me was the sign of a great leader, is, you know, seeing that in people. And, you know, I saw something today. Who is that amazing guy who wrote The Horse, the Mole, the Boy and the Fox? I can't remember which order it is in, and I can't remember the artist's name, but he's fantastic. And I follow him on Instagram, and I saw one of his posts today on Instagram, and it was basically like, what is the sign of great leadership, of great leadership? And underneath he'd put gentleness, being gentle. And I absolutely loved that, because it was like, it really sent a shiver down my spine, because it was just like, yeah, it's true. The bosses who I've had in my career as an event manager who are bad bosses, they weren't gentle, they were shouty, and they were mean, and they were derogatory, and they were power crazed. Whereas the great managers that I had were amazing leaders, because they were gentle, not always gentle, but they could see, they took the time to see what their people's strengths were and their weaknesses were, and they did the best to kind of coordinate that to get the best result for the company. So really have a think about that for you as a leader. You know, how can you gently look at what your positives are and your negatives? Like, all of us have got you know, places where we can improve, right? All of us have got places, things about us which maybe, you know, aren't our favorite traits, but we can build on them. So say for me, I know that like, that's one of the reasons I started the Recurring Revenue Rocks show, is because I have a terrible tendency, like one of my negative parts, if you like, to be inconsistent, you know, to do the odd blog post, to do the odd live. So I knew that by committing to doing the Recurring Revenue Rocks show, that there'd be a show out every single week. So there'd always be something for me to share on my social media profiles, because I'm doing a new show every week. So therefore there is something for me to share, and I've got to be consistent with it. So really have a think about, you know, just as important as it is to think about what your amazing points are. I mean, this is something that I'm working on with my guys in Magnetize Your Membership Pro at the moment, is, you know, really bigging yourself up. Think of all those things that you're incredible at. Like for me, I actually wrote a list of 32 things that I know that I'm really good at, either because I know I'm like, yeah, I was born with that, I'm good at that, or because other people have said to me, Laura, you've got a gift for this, you know, you're really great at this thing. So I've written all those things down, the things that I know about myself and the things that other people have told me about myself. I've written this list to like big myself up. You know, if I'm having a low day, like we all have low days, right? Sometimes you just need a boost. Read through it, boost your confidence up, remember what other people think of you, and what you know about yourself to be true. So as well as that, as well as bigging yourself up and knowing what you're awesome at, I also want you to think about what your dark spaces are in your, you know, what are you missing? Which parts are you of you as a business owner, as a personal person, you know what I mean, as an individual? What what negatives are there, because then you can start addressing them. So say for me, I knew that consistency was a mega problem for me, because it's like I'd pop up and do a launch and make 5 figures or multi 5 figures, and then I'd just kind of disappear again. So it was funny, because I knew that was a problem for me. It's a problem that I knew I had to address, hence why I hired my new coach last year, because I was like, I need to address this problem, because I'm just kind of like, I'm popping up and making a great living doing these random launches, but I know I need to be more consistent in between, because that will mean better things for my business. So I addressed that, and that is how the Recurring Revenue Rocks show has been born, because I knew that I wanted to create something almost as an anchor that I have in my business week in, week out, that it's always going to be there. I'm always going to have a new episode of the Recurring Revenue Rocks show coming out, so I'll always have something to share online. So that's helped me with my consistency goals, to be more consistent. But for you, really have a look at the places which are holding you back. Are you putting yourself out there enough so that you can grow your membership? Because you do need to put yourself out there, because you could be the best person in the world at a certain thing, but if you're not putting yourself out there for people to find you, then no one's going to know about you. And that's a shame, because what you do, the work you do with your membership, is so important, and the help that you can give people is so precious. And there are people out there right now who need you, and the very special way that you deliver your membership, because of your unique history. And if you're not there for them to find you, then they're just going to go to someone else to help solve their problem. And that's a shame, because it's like your membership could be growing. You could be growing more income. You could be growing more impact in people's lives. And you need to really think about how you can do that. If you're holding yourself back with getting out there in front of people, you need to address that. So really have a think about it. Like, have a think about how you can address that problem. What can you do? Can you make a commitment to yourself to go live once a week? Can you make a commitment to yourself to create a video that you then later post if the thought of going live terrifies you? Every single time that you make a promise to yourself and then you actually keep it, your confidence is just going to grow and grow. So I know that every decision that I'm making in my business is helping me create my to allow me to live in alignment really with my core top value of freedom. So for me, I know that I need to keep my business really streamlined, really systemized, so that I can run it efficiently, and so that I can spend a lot of time away from my desk actually. And the more in line with that kind of that value of freedom, and the more that I'm working in an aligned way with that vision of having a very efficient business that I can spend a lot of time away from, the more I act in accordance with that vision, the better I feel, the more confident I feel, because I'm like, yes, I'm achieving my goal for my business, to spend more time away from my desk and to run a really epic business that delivers awesome results for people, but in a way that also works for me as an individual. And it just builds that confidence, like month on month, year on year. I know that I'm getting better and better at this. So that's the thought that I wanted to leave you with for today's episode, is just to make sure that you're not only bigging yourself up and knowing the things that you're amazing at and reminding yourself of those things on the regular, but also to identify which areas do you need help with, which areas are you holding yourself back with. So there's that whole phrase, isn't there, about being the bottleneck in your business. I don't want you to be the bottleneck in your business with your membership. I want you to really have a think, get honest with yourself about which areas you can improve on, and then actually take a step to start improving that area, because the difference that you'll notice in your business will be massive. And also just to, with both of those things, with bigging yourself up and with finding out which areas you're kind of, you need to get better at, make progress with getting better at. I really want you to just keep those core values for yourself and for your business in mind. Like, have you got a vision that you want to have thousands of people in your membership? Really think on a day-to-day basis, how are you building towards that? How are you actually making your business run so that you can attract those thousands of members? Because if you're not getting yourself out there, then you're not going to reach those kind of numbers. So really have a think about what you can do today, this week, this month, this year, to take you towards that vision. So I hope you've enjoyed that as much as I have sharing it with you. And if you want to find out about how you can have my help to help you grow a really systemized, streamlined membership that helps you to create a minimum of 5K per month just from that membership, and that you can really, really live in alignment with your core values and what you want for your business and your life. If you want to find out more about how I can help you with that, the program that I have is called Magnetize Your Membership Pro. It is for coaches and specialists who really want to, get a minimum of 5K coming in from their memberships in a way that feels really good and is aligned with your core values. So you can find out more about that over at recurringrevenuerocks.com, and then just at the top, click on the tab which says Magnetize Your Membership Pro, and you can find out everything about the program there and also how you can apply for a place in it. So have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you're up to, and I can't wait to see you here next Monday for the next episode of the Recurring Revenue Rocks show.